Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.
Whiskey Wednesday, Whiskey Wednesday. I think this is the first Whiskey Wednesday of 2024 for us. I've been slacking on them. I apologize. I need to drink more whiskey. How dare I? Tonight we're going to check out Benchmark Foolproof. Why are we doing that? Because I just recently watched a video from Bourbon Real Talk community, or Bourbon Real Talk. And Randall was talking, they were reviewing this year's vintage of George T. Stagg. And he had said in the video that Benchmark Foolproof is George T. Stagg. But it is aged only 3 years as opposed to 15 years, or 3 to 4 years. George T. Stagg is 15 years, and it's in a different spot in the warehouse. But this is essentially George T. Stagg at a much younger age in a different spot in the warehouse. And at a price point of $24. This is a $24, 125 proof bottle of whiskey. That seems impossible, but here we are. So it says McAfee Brothers. It is a Buffalo Trace product. Frankfort, Kentucky. I got this bottle a little while ago. I haven't drank very much of it, as is apparent from how full it still is, but figured we would check this one out after I had no idea that this was the same whiskey that George T. Stagg is. George T. Stagg is not obtainable where I'm at unless you want to pay $1,000, and I don't want to do that. So I'm much better off paying $24 for Benchmark Foolproof. Like, it's insane. Whew, it is warm and it smells delicious. Tons of caramel. It almost smells like a caramel covered apple. A little bit of smoke, wood. But it is, I mean, it singes your nostrils a bit. It's sweet. It smells awesome. A little bit of cinnamon, maybe. Cheers. That is delicious. That 125 proof, though, it is there. It'll get you. First sip of whiskey for me always, it just kind of absolutely crushes my tongue. But even with that, first sip was delicious. Tons of caramel. This almost reminds me of a much higher proof. I had talked about in the Woodford Reserve Double Oak video how it reminds me of a liquid Snickers bar. This has that. It's like this cool chocolatey, caramely, just rich, mouth coating, sticky whiskey. I mean, that finish, it's crazy how long it goes. It is woody. There's a little bit of like smoke, char, and just a faint hint of like a red fruit. It's delicious. I mean, for $24, what's a better high proof whiskey than this? I don't know. I'm still fairly new to the whiskey game. I've only been doing this for a couple years. But if there's a better value than this bottle, someone please tell me so I can check it out. I don't know what it would be. It's crazy because if this is aged 3 to 4 years, I could imagine George T. Stagg at like 15 years. I'm not like, I've talked about it. I don't like super long aged whiskeys, but at that proof, I think George T. Stagg's like around 130. It's different every time, but the latest one was like 131 proof. I think at that proof, at that age, it would probably be a bit mellower than this. I don't know if that's the case. Who knows? But holy smokes, this is delicious. It's just so full flavored and so like oily mouth coating. That last sip, it tasted like, it's almost like peanut brittle. It's great. So if you've never had Benchmark Foolproof, it behooves you to check it out, especially for 24 bucks. It might even be cheaper where you're at. Here in Southern California, it's $24. And it was actually awesome. I got a bottle of Elmer T. Lee. And what you had to do was you had to spend $100 in Benchmark products. So this was one of the bottles. I bought the entire Benchmark line, which was, I love all of the Benchmark. The only thing I didn't get was Benchmark 8. All the other ones, single barrel, foolproof, What other ones did we get? I got a couple different single barrel ones. I got the foolproof bottle, bottled bond. Like Benchmark stuff, it's cheap, and I don't know if people just kind of thumb their nose at that, but it's good stuff. So I gladly paid $100 in Benchmark bottles to get a bottle of Elmer Tea Lee for $40. So this, like I said, it behooves you to check it out. It is worth your time. It is worth the money. It's good stuff. So let me know what you guys think of this one. And like I said, if you haven't checked it out, do so. I can't recommend it enough. So another Whiskey Wednesday in the books. Hopefully I will see you guys next week. Cheers.
Thank you for coming behind the bar, in the arcade, all that shit.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.